reasons to have him on my show.
No, he's not Randy Orton.
No, I'm not a big Randy Orton fan.
No, but if it was Randy Orton in a mask, you'd have less of knowledge that it was him. You know what I mean? Rhino, you can tell who he is just by the shape of his body. Ain't nobody else shaped like that, really.
Oh, it was super. I mean, it was totally him. The way, not only the shape of his body, but the way he did the gore. It was like, yeah, you know that's
big mass of curly hair sticking out the back of the mask. Yep.
Yeah, well, moving on. Major League Impact welcomes Georgia Smith as their newest broadcast correspondent.
All right.
Smith started with MLW at their Kings of Coliseum broadcast. Georgia is the daughter of the British Bulldog Davy Boy Smith, her brother Davy Boy Smith Jr., and her cousin Teddy Hart are already well established on the MLW roster. As part of the New Hart Foundation, they are the reigning MLW Tag Team Champions. She comes in with some experience, though, Pasty. She'll be able to apply a lot to her new gig, like stints with iHeartMedia and various other broadcasting gigs.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, welcome Georgia Smith to MLW. It's good to see her there. It's good to see
maybe we can get Cornette out of there
Smith
now.
Family coming in there. Get out of there, Cornette. We don't need you.
Somebody came to odds with me on the internet this week when I said I wasn't. I love MLW, but he's making the product hard. The product hard to watch. And somebody's like, "What are you talking about? I think he's done just fine since he's been there."
Oh,
you fucking. Ugh.
Pasty, Jim. Everybody knows Jim Cornette.
Yes,
honestly, but perhaps the biggest name in this section of the comings and goings is one that many of our listeners may not know. Tokyo Sports is reporting that All Japan Pro Wrestling president Jun Akiyama resigned from his position this Monday.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Akiyama has been the promotion's president for more than 5 years. Under his watch, Akiyama has promoted major stars of the company, such as Kento.
Say that again.
Miyahara. Kento Miyahara. Got that? Kento Miyahara.
Yes.
Omiyanamu. Jake Lee. And Nomuro Naoya.
See, I would have pronounced that second to the last one, Jacques Laia.
Exactly. Tsuyoki Fukado, age of 53, will now actually take over the reins as president and reportedly wants to take a higher focus on work in the ring rather than the actual numbers. Something WWE could fucking learn from. It can't be argued that Akiyama saved All Japan Pro Wrestling while it was in its lowest point, Pasty, but now is the time for change, at least according to the higher-ups in the company, who are seeing the gap to New Japan Pro Wrestling, who is growing ever bigger, and Pro Wrestling Noah, who just recently has been making huge changes this year in an attempt to kickstart their stagnant business as well.
Well, let's hope it's all up for these companies.
Yeah, with all of the independent and global wrestling that's happening, they're feeling the pressure.
Now, do we know what Akiyama is going to do going forward?
I assume
All Elite Wrestling.
No, I assume he's going to join 57 other men in masturbating on top of one woman's face.
The Bukkake Committee, which is oddly enough another name for WWE Extreme Rules.
The Bukkake Committee.
Yes. Let's get into our predictions, shall we?
Yeah.
So, as always with WWE cards, it's probably not in the appropriate order, but we're going to hit it up the way we got it. Raw Tag Team Championships, The Revival, defending their titles against the Usos. I got to put my money on the Usos on this one.
And I'm just going with the Revivals for no
reason. I think it's a safe
Pasty.
bet. I just want the Usos to have the championships. I like the Revival, but I really want them to not be in WWE so I can like them even more.
Right, yeah.
I know they only have the championships because WWE is trying to make them happy, and that doesn't make me happy. So.
No.
Yes. Coming in next, we've got a last man standing match, Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley in their ongoing feud, which is actually making monsters out of both of them, and it works very well.
So far, yeah.
Somebody's getting buried under an announce table and a bunch of chairs. Or a garbage truck.
I'm going with Braun Strowman because I know they're trying to they're trying to recreate his character. Although I will admit, it's probably smarter to have Bobby Lashley beat him and have him go away for like 2-3 months and come back as a monster. Yeah. But I'm going Strowman.
Yeah, no, this was, I think, probably the hardest pick on the card for me as well. Just because of the way they are. They need to bring Strowman back in a big way. But Lashley, I think, deserves it more right now. He needs it more right now because he's suffered more right now. So, yeah, I got my money's on Lashley to win this one. And I hope it happens.
I agree. I hope it's Lashley and Strowman. WWE Cruiserweight Championship, Drew Lock versus Tony Nese.
I am Drew Lock.
It's Drew Lock and Tony Nese. I'm going with Drew Lock.
Yes, I got goo eyes for Gulak. Man, that submission match with Kushida sold him for me in ways that 205 Live never could have. It was beautiful.
Then we have the U.S. Championship match, Ricochet defending his title against AJ Styles. I'm going Ricochet.
I'm going AJ.
Wow. I think that's a step down for AJ.
Yeah, probably, but I don't want to see him have a top championship right now anyway. So U.S. Championship is good. Plus with him possibly getting back together with Gallows and Anderson, as they've been alluding to lately, it could be a good run.
So, folks, send your messages to Pasty where he says that AJ is not good enough for the world title and that Ricochet is not good enough for the U.S.
Oh, Ricochet
title.
is, but he's good enough for better things, too.
Nope, that's what you said. Just stand by it, Pasty. God damn it. God damn it.
Then we've got a triple threat match between Daniel Bryan and Rowan versus The New Day versus Heavy Machinery.
I'm just kidding, Pasty. I know you love Ricochet.
I do. I love them both. I do. And I want to see good things for them both. But AJ Styles' world title run was, it got stale. And so he doesn't need that right now. But I think he needs a championship. And as a heel, it could be a good run.
I can dig it. Triple threat tag match. What do you got?
I got to go with Heavy Machinery. Although
I wanted to pick Heavy Machinery because it seems like they're pushing them.
Otis is the best. He's so great. He is fucking the Chris Farley of pro wrestling.
I wanted to do it, but you picked it, so I'm going New Day, so I can do something different. So, you know what? You can never go wrong with picking New Day. They're obviously in the running.
And I mean, Bryan and Rowan could just retain too. I think this will be a good match all the way around. So. It's a contrast of styles throughout, and it will be a lot of fun to see.
Yeah, I hope so.
And I right there with you. I want to see the New Day have championships while Kofi still has his championship.
So how about the SmackDown Women's Championship? We got Bayley
in a handicap match
taking on Alexis and Nikki Cross in a handicap match.
Who you got?
I got Bayley, obviously. Usually when there's a handicap match, you know it's going to go towards them. I feel the same way you do. I'm not giving you extra points for
That's
it.
Fine.
It's too fucking
But I've got
obvious.
Bayley via Sasha Banks.
We even put it as a tiebreaker.
And I don't know that Bayley will need Banks because she's done a pretty good job of sowing seeds of doubt in Nikki's mind about Alexa. But Nikki's still very delusional about it. So I'm thinking that'll come to head after this match.
I hope Bayley doesn't need her. I hope Bayley wins it on her own, to be honest.
I hope they keep Banks at home for being a crybaby bitch. But that's just me.
There you go. Either way, yeah, I'm with you. Then we have Kofi Kingston versus Samoa Joe.
And rumors leading into this is Kofi Kingston is already injured from SmackDown.
He's got a back injury.
They collapsed his chest, or what's left of it. I gotta go with Samoa Joseph.
Yeah, I'm with Samoa Joe.
I mean, if New Day wins the tag team titles, they'll still have it for a short period of time while Kofi's on top of the world. But, I don't know. Kingston, he's been a good champion. He's been an entertaining champion, but you still look at him and you say he's not a top guy.
I would, if he wasn't injured, I'd like for him to keep it, to be honest.
I'd like to see Samoa Joe stop getting fucked. I wish it was Joe versus Rollins, but if he's got to take it from Kofi, he's the man to do it.
So now we got Seth and Becky defending their titles against Corbin and Evans.
Stupid.
This was the hardest one for me to pick, to be honest. The hardest one for me to pick. Because there's no wrong answer, right? Like, storyline-wise, either way gives you a really good story to go down for the next 6 months.
And if Becky really isn't happy with having her relationship in the limelight of the public, for them to lose it and then break up kayfabe, it would be a good way for them to separate from each other. I think Vince is just terrible. When fans know something is there, Vince is like, okay, now it's got to be on the show. And this is definitely a scenario where that doesn't have to happen, and has been detrimental to both Seth and Becky.
The man's man is not helping anybody. But, that being said, I am picking the men.
And since you are picking the men, I guess I will pick the women, Baron and Lacey. Then we have a no-holds-barred match. It's a tag match. The Undertaker and Roman Reigns versus Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre. And this one, I gotta go with the Dead Dogs. I think Kevin Owens is gonna have some kind of a thing here, too, after SmackDown. But I had picked the Dead Dogs beforehand. I'm really intrigued to see Undertaker and Roman Reigns as a tandem force. And it could be very good. I want to see Shane lose, because fuck Shane McMahon. Drew McIntyre does not deserve to be in this match. I mean, just because he shouldn't be forced to be side-saddled with Shane McMahon. But, yeah, I gotta go with the Dead Dogs.
And I gotta say, first of all, Shane McMahon, he has his father's ego. But more than that, I think they're actually starting to push Drew McIntyre. And I think he is going to be, from everything I've read, I'm not going to take credit for this. This isn't me just saying, oh, I know this. Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar is the next big thing. So I'm going to pick the Max, Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre.
Even with the potentiality of Kevin Owens getting involved?
You know what? Fuck Kevin Owens.
That's
what I say. Fuck Kevin Owens.
And that brings us to the tiebreaker for this event. Will Sasha Banks come to Bayley's aid?